ears are very important to us. Please hold on, and our program will begin shortly. The Soundcheck podcast is coming up. Please continue to hold. Keep up with the Soundcheck podcast and everything that's happening in the New Sounds empire. Just go to newsounds.org and follow us on social media. All of the icons are in the top right corner of the page. All of our other musicians are currently playing for other customers. Please stay with us, and someone will play for you in just a moment. From newsounds.org, welcome to another live studio performance in the series we call the Soundcheck Podcasts. Streaming live on Facebook and YouTube, I'm John Schaefer. Emily Wells is a one-woman band. She sings, she plays the violin, keyboards, drums, loops, and effects. She's made a reputation as being a solo performer who can sound like an orchestra, and that's fine. But sometimes it's more fun to actually play with an orchestra, or at least a large chamber ensemble. And that's what's happening on Emily Wells' latest record. It features the Metropolis Ensemble, the Grammy-nominated band here in New York, led by Andrew Sear, and they've all trooped into the studio today to play some of Emily's new songs. They combine the sounds of chamber music, hip-hop, and electronic pop into a tapestry that's got a big sound, but somehow still feels small and intimate. This first song is called Misconceptions on Forever. Here's music by Emily Wells.
Everything is moving, make me that brave. I wanna be out moving without the lights on, without the lights on. Take my body, make it stop humming. I wanna be here, I wanna be someone alive, alive, in the dark moving, alive, alive, in the dark moving, hey, hey, hey. Out there in the dark, everything is moving. I wanna be out moving without the lights on, without the lights on. Take my heart, make it stop humming. I wanna be here, I
The song is called Misconceptions on Forever, and it is from the new album, the forthcoming record, by composer and singer and multi-instrumentalist Emily Wells, performing here in the studio with members of the Metropolis Ensemble, conducted by Andrew Sear, with Shayna Dunkelman behind our drum kit. And Emily, boy, it's great to have you back. It's
Thank you so much.
Always fun to see what you've been up to. And normally in introducing an artist or a band, I actually say what the name of their new record is, and I didn't this time around because I don't know how to say this title. I mean...
Yeah, I understand.
So
I'm going to run into this, I fear.
Yeah. So This World is Two, and then there's a blank.
Yes.
For you. Mm-hmm. Now see, if I just say, this world is too blank for you, they'll think I'm cursing and I'm doing some FCC style editing on the fly. So how
I would say this world is too, and then you need to see me kind of shrug and hold out my hands and say, for you.
Right.
It's for the listener to insert. And, jokes could probably be made as well, but it's to give a little space to the listener and to the things that I didn't know how to articulate through text.
Right. And the kind of gesture that you just made here in the studio
Yes.
is really impossible to capture in words.
Yes, it is. It is.
But that's the great thing about music, is that it does exactly that.
Yes.
It captures all those feelings that are really hard to put into words.
Yeah.
Now, this is not the first time that you've found yourself working with classical musicians. I mean, I saw you with the Kronos Quartet probably 8 or 9 years ago at Lincoln Center. So, and I know that the St. Paul Chamber Orchestra had a hand in the creation of these songs, right?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about the genesis of this project.
Sure. It was initially commissioned by the Liquid Music Series in Minneapolis, and
which is St. Paul Chamber Orchestra's new music venture.
Exactly. And that led me to Michi Uenko, who is the arranger for the chamber parts.
She's a composer herself. Yeah.
Exactly. And we forged a kind of musical and ethical bond around these songs. Just gave ourselves to them, and so that was the first half, and that was what I did with Liquid. And then Andrew and I chatting one day, and what do you want to do now with them? And I'd love to finish them, and I have more songs and more arrangements. And Andrew, being the generous visionary that he is, said, well, let's do it. So we just kept moving, basically, right after the Liquid premiere. So
yeah. Now you said that you and Michi sort of bonded both musically and ethically on these songs. So there's clearly something else going on here other than, lovely melodies and great arrangements.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think at this moment in time, it's hard not to move into those kinds of spheres of thought, and a desire to push past some of the surface conceptually. So yeah, we both like sweat and cried into these songs for sure, because they're about, a lot of them are about relationship to the natural world and fear around that relationship, desire to be better.
Like better stewards of nature and that sort of...
Absolutely. Better stewards of the planet, of each other, to love each other enough to try harder, But it's difficult to write music about that, without being didactic or cheesy. And so in some ways, they're love songs, they're love songs to this planet, to each other. And that was my way in to writing about those things, is through love, truly.
Yeah. Did you have these ideas kind of floating around first, and then when the commission came, it was like, oh, here's my canvas that I'll paint this on? Or
well, yeah, I mean, the commission, I hate to align things in relationship to the election, because that's such a just cruel thing to do to my work and to your ears, but yeah, that was a kind of a reordering, and the commission came soon after that. The first couple of songs I had written or was working on when the commission started, and And so those are like the last song that we'll play today, Hymn for the New World. I wrote in the week following, and it was just kind of like, okay, this is where we are, and now how do we live within that?
Well, and there's another component to this. Now, you performed one of the songs, Remind Me to Remember, here in our studio last year, specifically for a video shoot, which people can still find on our website at newsounds.org. And that was just you solo. It was with the full solo rig and video of some really, beautiful dancing, solo dancing.
Yes.
So video projection seems to be a part of this as well.
It is, yeah. I've been developing a practice of video work that mostly intersects with the performances, and it's about, it combines dance, which is something I love and that inspires me a great deal, and contemporary dance, more in the realm of like a Pina Bausch type of a bit more surrealist dance than like a ballet, but whatever, anything goes. But then also there's moments of climate crisis, so you'll see like the way a palm tree bends, and then I'll distort it and kind of like have it happen over and over again and put it next to the body of a dancer, so you kind of see the similarities. And then there's also protest footage from ACT UP happening a lot in the projections as well. So I'm developing these ideas around like, what do we have to learn from the AIDS crisis and ACT UP and what they did to essentially push science and push the federal government into doing things, into changing laws. Like, what do we have now to learn from them in our current crisis? So
it sounds like you're doing to video what you do to audio, which is kind of, taking something that's there and post-producing it into something dramatically different, perhaps.
Absolutely.
All right, which Andrew Sear, the conductor of the Metropolis Ensemble, every new piece is a challenge, but working with Emily and the specific way that she builds her songs, what kind of challenge has that posed for the ensemble in terms of learning how to perform these songs?
Oh, well, I think that Emily and Michi, they really hit it off so well that their ideas on the page are actually very, very clear. So that is just a massive kudos to them to kind of, just collaborate, basically. And for Michi to take all of Emily's songs and her ideas and put it in a way that we can just kind of execute and get the vibe. So
for you as the conductor, though, when things are being triggered, how, what's... who gets priority? Who do you point to Emily when you want something triggered, or is that up to her, and then you need to be like quick off the mark to keep up?
Yeah, she has her machines over there, and she hits them and they go. So we follow.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the God. It's not me. It's the machine.
It's the God in the machine.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So the album is called "This World Is Too For You." Comes out on March 22nd.
Yes.
But tomorrow night, you're doing a kind of early record release show in Brooklyn at the House of Yes with the assembled throng here in our studio today, which includes violinists Clara Kim and Siwoo Kim, violist Emily Brandenburg, the cellist is Michael Katz, Trevor Knuckles playing the French horn, Evan Runyon on bass, and I mentioned Shayna Dunkelman's behind our drum kit, Emily Wells playing everything else, and Andrew Sear overseeing the whole crew. Let's hear another song. You want to do "Stay Up"?
You got it.
All right. Emily Wells, live on this edition of the Soundcheck podcast in our New Sound studio.
Forget the flood, and eyes are praying in the earth, listening for forever. Dread the carpets out into the sun. Don't you get lonely, yeah. Don't you get angry, yeah. Stay, 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 until friends come out. Stay, stay, stay. and you wanna grab back. Forget the flood, and as I try to be someone, listening for forever, and dry my body down into the sun. Don't you get lonely, yeah? Don't you get angry, yeah?
That is called Stay Up from Emily Wells, and you'll find it on her new album when it comes out on March 22nd. The album is called This World Is Too For You. Emily Wells with the Metropolis Ensemble, conducted by Andrew Sear here in the studio. And, you know, Emily, it occurs to me that going all the way back to 2008 and the Symphonies record, you know, you were kind of... that record was kind of a statement of intent, it seemed. It was like, I'm going to claim all of this. You know, the hip-hop production, the electronic pop sound, the idea of symphonic or classical music. Did you grow up with all of that stuff in the house?
Not in the house. Definitely the more classical side of things I grew up with in the house. Almost exclusively, in fact. That and religious music.
Right, because your dad was a minister.
Yes, he was a music minister, in fact. So he, and one that was absolutely committed to more traditional, you know, don't bring a guitar in my church kind of a guy, which, you know, I sort of agree with, but, you know, he raised me well. Let's just put it that way. But, you know, as we do, I developed a broad interest in other music, and I had an older brother who, you know, gave me his Nirvana albums and stuff like that. So yeah, and you know, it's funny, claiming all those genres. You don't realize you're being so selfish when you are a mere youth. So, you know, absurd. But that's what we do.
Well, maybe that's just the way I phrased it, that you're claiming all of it. But the fact is, you know, the opposite is even worse, of like cutting yourself off from a whole genre of music, because that's not my music, you know?
Yeah. I just... Right, I was voracious.
So as I say, the Symphonies, that was over 10 years. It was 2008, so it's over a decade ago. Now here you are, you know, with having played with string quartets and orchestras and stuff. Do you find that writing for a large ensemble like this is a different process from just doing a song that you are going to go out there with your violin and your looping pedal and your keyboards and do yourself?
Sure, yeah. It's the song itself doesn't change, because inside of whatever you make has to be a good song, whether it's a traditional song or a composition or whatever. Like, so in some ways I approach these songs with a lot of freedom to just make them good songs first and foremost. I tried to make it so I could play them on a keyboard and sing them or a guitar or whatever, and know that and trust them, and that's where I found my flaws, and before I even gave them to Michi. And then
again, that's Michi Bianco who did the arranging.
Correct. Yeah. Yes. And so I knew, and in some ways knowing Michi was coming on board gave me all this freedom, because I'm always thinking as a producer when I'm writing, I'm thinking, how am I going to pull this off on the stage? How am I going to fill this out? Like I get so interested in sounds that sometimes, you forget about the structure of the song and what a song can do or how it can move an audience. So it was great knowing I didn't have to think of all of that as I was writing. I could just write a song, and then, but yeah, of course, rehearsing, I've been joking with everyone. I've been kind of imagining them for the last couple of weeks, trying to play all the parts alone in my studio and just, humming there. It's great, This is my dream. It wasn't like I was like, I want to always be a solo artist. We work with our limitations, and all I had was a violin, and I figured out how to sample it and loop it and all that. And it wasn't because that's what I wanted. It was because that's what I had.
That was your tool.
That was my tool. Yeah. So this is what I want.
And you sound oh so happy now that you've gotten it, he said sarcastically. Because this album, I mean, come on. I saw the title Rock and Roll Man, and I thought, all right, I know what I expect from a song called Rock and Roll Man. I was ready to fall on my sword by the end of that song.
Beautiful. Good.
So is it really, I mean, you talk about growing up with, with a music minister as a parent and hymns in the house. Hymns are, we think of hymns almost by definition as songs of praise, but when you actually look at a lot of the lyrics of hymns through the centuries and going back, some of the earliest human music that we still have are remnants of hymns.
Yeah.
And they're full of fear and,
painful.
And pain. Yeah. So do you kind of see what you're doing as hymns in that tradition?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, this in the misconceptions, I'm asking, please take my body, make it stop wanting so much, take my heart, make it stop wanting. I don't know if I'm speaking to God or not, but I'm speaking to something outside of myself, or, and sometimes I'm asking myself to have more agency,
Well, and again, that's kind of, you think of all the Hindu prayers to Krishna, which are, they're, or the Song of Songs from the Bible, which, is like all this heart and body stuff. And, well, now who's this really aimed at here?
Yeah, true.
But now this next song, you've already alluded to it, the Hymn for a New World. So this was written in the wake of the 2016 election.
Yes.
When a lot of fairly grim art of many forms was spawned. It's 2+ years later now.
Yeah.
Do you feel any better about things?
I just feel more used to it. I don't know if I feel any better, but yeah,
That's a dangerous thing, isn't it?
It's horrifying, actually. Yeah. These songs are trying to. Hopefully, they'll keep me tied to all the emotion and reality that lives within them.
Yeah. Emily Wells is my guest here in the studio on this Soundcheck podcast from newsounds.org. Once again, she and the band are performing the whole album, right?
Yes, we're going to play it in order from start to finish tomorrow night. At
House of Yes in Brooklyn. Right now, everyone's here to play another song from the record for us. This is the Hymn to a New World, the Hymn for the New World.
get it? I didn't wanna look away just yet. I want my provenance. I didn't wanna tell the truth. You know, that's when it's time to go. I didn't want it bad enough, bad enough. There is no going on with it. Everything you know, you learn to quit. There is no going on with it. Everything you love, you learn to quit. There is no going on with it. Everything you love, you learn to quit. So go, get it, going on in a new world. Hallelujah, in a new world. God, get in a new world.
That's Emily Wells with Hymn for the New World. It's the concluding track on her new record called This World Is Too For You, which comes out on March 22nd. And about halfway through that song, Emily, you triggered a sample, which it's now the third time I've heard this song, and I still can't figure it out. At moments, I'm thinking, oh, it's definitely a voice. Maybe not Emily's voice, but it's definitely a voice. And then other times, no, it's like a theremin or something. What is that?
It's a vocoder.
It is a vocoder.
And
okay.
it's so it is me singing. I'm triggering a sample of me singing it, and I actually had so much fun on this record being a vocalist, and that included being a vocoderist and inhabiting these kind of other personalities of that I have inside, these other voices, particularly the lower voices, Well,
now it's interesting you say that, because as I listen to this record and other records of yours, I think, if someone else had written these songs for her, I would be thinking, boy, that composer would be really being mean to Emily, making her, stay up in that high register like that for so long.
Right. Well, we are cruel to ourselves.
But you do seem to favor that high register a lot.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I actually, if you were to ask me, I'd say, I love singing low and conversationally. And I'm trying to push myself a bit to do it more. But yeah, I think I guess I just go there for melody, and the lower register I go to tell you a story.
Okay. Well, there's actually sound science behind that, because the higher up the voice goes, the harder it is to make out words. Yeah.
This makes sense. My instincts, I guess, are doing okay.
And for male voices, sort of the reverse. The deep, like those Russian basso profundos, very hard to distinguish words, but a tenor in his sort of normal range, much easier. So there you go.
Beautiful.
Well done.
Well, thank you.
This World Is Too For You by Emily Wells comes out March 22nd. She and the Metropolis Ensemble and Shayna Dunkelman will be at House of Yes tomorrow night in Brooklyn to play the album live. Emily, it's always great to see you, and congratulations on the new work.
Thank you so much. Wonderful to see you as well.
This is Soundcheck.
Don't